Hello, everyone. Good evening. What a pleasure to be here tonight. And to start our meeting, I'm going to start singing some songs to prepare our environment so to be a little bit calmer, make it easier to concentrate. Welcome to our meeting. Blue crystal eyes, colors of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, pouring pain. Blue crystal eyes, color of the sky, gray bushy beard, Santa's look alike. Shine on your brothers on earth, suffering, living joy, pouring pain. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the Good, receive our prayers and also our heart. Bezerra de Menezes, Apostle of the Light, place our pain at the feet of Jesus Christ. Love in action. Oh Jesus, here I am, my knees on the floor, to say thank you, my Lord, for the lights that come through this door. Your love is the key to change the entire world. Using these chains wisely, we live in peace and harmony. Now I understand, helping others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all this transformation, you just have to put love in action. Now I understand, others is helping myself. Your words now are so crystal clear. Your teachings have no frontiers. To see all these transformations, we just have to put love in action.
Sometimes it's not so easy. Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend. The sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all the dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus. And when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Sometimes it's not so close. Sometimes we build our dreams, but then we see them decompose. When you feel down the dumps, feeling sad and blue, give life a chance, my friend. The sun will shine again on you. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Have little faith in you. Maybe tomorrow you can dream all your dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, it doesn't mean the end. Believe you can come through. The rainy days are true. Sometimes okay to feel blue. Have little faith in you. Dream all the dreams again. Though some sorrow remains, your dreams can get you through. Have little faith in you.
When I go in to pray, I look for my good Jesus, and when I close my eyes, I can feel all His light. I open my heart for all He has to say. He shows me the best way I can enjoy my life. Jesus, Jesus, they never we apart. Please bring all your light to shine inside my heart. Jesus, Jesus, I can be content. I have your endless love and your protecting hand.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our public meeting. We thank everyone for joining us tonight. Before we start, we would like to share a couple of announcements. We ask you to turn off your phone notifications and find a quiet place during this time if possible. Our meeting will have a 30 minutes presentation followed by Q&A. Following the presentation, we will have a spiritual treatment with passes and magnetized water. So we invite you to set aside a container with water to be magnetized. We would like to announce that our public meeting is being retransmitted today by Continental Conference Americas through their Facebook and will also be retransmitted every Wednesday at 8 p.m. by Kardec Radio through their Facebook and YouTube. For those who want to learn more about Spiritism, Get to Know to Spiritism is a free and online course that happens every Saturday at 5:15 p.m. East. This Saturday, our class will be about self-knowledge. Amazing topic, right? So if you want to join us in our study group, the registration link is posted in the chat. And now I invite everyone for joining me for our opening prayer. So let's close our eyes, elevate our thoughts. Heavenly Father, we would like to thank you for the opportunity to be here one more Tuesday in order to learn more about Spiritism and your teachings. We thank you for your love, your mercy, and for everything you have done for us. We also thank you for this day, for our lives, our health, our family, and our friends. May you can bless all of us in our inner necessities, and may we become a better person due to your example of love and forgiveness. We ask the good spirits to bless and inspire our brother Rod, who will speak to us tonight. May we can learn from him. Once again, we thank you for everything you have done, and we ask you to stay with us today and always. So be it. The topic of today's meeting is Discarnated Enemies from chapter 12, Love Your Enemies, items 5 to 6, which will be facilitated by our brother Rod, as I said, from Ottawa. Everyone is welcome to write comments and questions in the chat, and we will address the questions at the end of the talk. So now we invite our tonight's speaker, Rod. Welcome, Rod.
Hello, welcome, Marcella. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm feeling well. How about you? How about the weather in London?
Today was let's see if I can say warm. This afternoon it was above. It was positive. So
That's nice. Oh,
yeah,
that's great. Yeah.
but is everything okay? Thank you.
Oh, welcome.
We are excited to listen from you. Okay,
Thank
so
you
the
very
time is
much.
ours. See you
It's a
later.
pleasure. Hello, everyone. Thank you again for having me tonight. As Marcella said, I'll be talking about chapter 12, items 5 and 6. And it'll be about discarnated enemies from the chapter Love Our Enemies. So, yes. Okay, I'd like to start showing this image. As you probably notice, I really like that, right? Because I always bring back this image. But today it's really important to remember that sometimes we feel we are in a better position than others. And in this chapter, actually, the spirits say that some people think they are better than others on earth. And because of that feeling of thinking they are better, they feel not attacked. Like they feel they have nothing to listen for people who are below them. And even when they have a better situation, when they receive a lot of critic, because they feel they are above, right? They don't have that same understanding, and they don't get offended, etc. And this is important because we are above the others when we are ready to help, right? And I love this image because I always show that someone is uphill because is able to help who is coming up. And when we talk about obsession, it's one of the topic of this night. We will see where we are, right? Knowing that the spirits who are below us, they are not able to influence us directly. And if you are receiving influence for bad spirits, that means something about ourselves. But we will get there later. And then it's just for us to have that idea about, okay, maybe I am in a better position, but if it's so, I am looking to the people who is below me and I have something to help, right? Can be material, can be in spiritual, moral, doesn't matter. If I am really up, it means I have something to give in many ways. Okay, and the item 5 start with the spirit saying that as a spiritist, we have many reasons to be tolerant to our enemies. Not only because as if we are a more evolved person, that because we are not receiving the same heat from critics, right? Because we are more relaxed, we have a better peace of mind dealing with our problems, with our attitude, but also because we know that the weakness is not permanent state of for humans. Like all the evil, all the problems, all of us will change, because we also know from the spirits that the evolution is a law of God. Nothing will get stopped. We always move forward. Depends on our work to ourselves, right? There is perfection on us, but to reach that high level of perfection, being almost an angel in a certain point of the future, we will need to work through our problems, our difficulties, and then we know that everyone is changing. It's a permanent situation of life itself. As Marceli mentioned, today for her was a warm day. It's not common because we are in the winter moment, right? Every day it's getting colder and colder here in Canada. But it also means life is always changing through the seasons, through the days. If you go out this time, it'll be a different vision than like 2-3 hours ago. Everything is in a process of moving. And about the spiritists, they also know that death free them only from the physical presence of their enemies, and that their enemies can pursue them with their hatred even after having left the earth. Well, as a spiritist, we know the life, the material life that we are living now is not permanent, and is not even our main life, knowing we are spirits. And our real life, per se, is the spiritual one. And this moment is great because we are learning. It's like school for all of us. But the enemies and the friends we made, they will continue after this life. And this is a good advice for all of us because we can rethink our attitude towards many people, understanding that all the good that I do now can resonate later. Maybe not today, maybe not tomorrow, but at certain point will make a difference. And for those who are seeking us through the spiritual life, like our enemies, they are not in the physical presence, they are watching us, right? And they are seeing our thinking, our way to do things. And it's for us also an opportunity for changing, because they will perceive that. They will understand what is true or not, because more than our physical presence only, they can see through us. They can see our thoughts. They can see the way we really, what we mean about our attitude, right? And this is why it's so important we work in our difficulties, our vices, our internal problems, because just when we change inside out is that moment when all those spirits who are around us, you also perceive that change. It's a Spiritism responsibility to show through experience and the law that governs the relations between the visible and invisible worlds that the expression extinguish hatred with blood is radically erroneous. Yes, there is no ending on this relationship when someone died, because as we know, as a spirit, the will continue. And maybe because that final attitude through our physical bodies of, a crime, a murder, a homicide, that can cause even more problems, because now we have more and more to deal with. And those who are not here physically, they will probably enhance all that feelings against us. And because they are in the spiritual world, they also will find many ways to trying to establish vengeance, so they don't cause problems to us. Consequently, Spiritism must present a positive reason and practical usefulness for forgiveness, and Christ's sublime maxim, love your enemies. Well, we're learning from the past talk that love our enemies is not exactly the same level of love that we can dedicate to our family, our friends, because only the presence of the enemy in our lives can make our heart beat differently, right? It's not the same feeling that we can feed, but knowing that there is many ways to transform that relationship in something better, depends, all these possibilities depends on our attitude, our thoughts, our way to deal with that, and we can work through that. We know that relationship, those problems, not only one side problem, both sides have to work. And if you will think we are better, for sure we can do the first step of this transformation, and then put in practice this maxim, love your enemies. There is no heart so perverse that it would not be touched by a good behavior. Meaning that if I am really doing good, if I'm really thinking good all the time, trying to change myself, trying to see my problems and work through them, then my enemies, those discarnated who are always with me looking all my behavior, they will understand that, okay, I know that particular person made terrible things. We don't know, right? Our past lives, our past attitude, but he or she's trying to change, trying to do better. And this good behavior can touch their hearts, because they will see the truth of our intentions. Even without being conscious of it, just seeing something good, something well done, will step by step transforming not only the relationship itself, but also their hearts, their goals about the vengeance and all that first state of their minds. Through good conduct, one removes at the least any pretext of reprisals and can turn enemies into friends. Well, again, every bad attitude we do, it's another reason for them to try and do something against us, to be our enemies. But when we stop doing wrong and we start doing good, doing right, at least we will not give them any other reason to hate us, right? And again, because they will be with us all the time, they will see the changings. One can therefore have enemies among both incarnate and discarnate. It's clear, as spiritual beings living material life, we can build relationships among both worlds, right? Being enemies on both sides, incarnate and discarnate. And our work here is not only change that, but also change ourselves, because we will stop that flow of having more and new enemies through the reason of our attitude. The enemies of the invisible world express their malevolence through the obsessions and subjugations of which so many persons are the target. And this is why I start my conversation about obsession, and we will have some extra information, but how they can act against us. And on this chapter, the Spiritists explain that through obsessions, trying to influence us, and how they can do that, right? Well, let's see here. This is us. We all have vices. We all have problems. And knowing that, we are our first enemy, because we are the first one we have to work to change. We need to change ourselves. But those vices that we still have, and can be material ones, can be moral ones, they are put us in connection to other ones in the spiritual world who also have the same vices. Though, and here I put the arrow here in both sides, because it's not one-side relationship. Some people, they understand, okay, I have obsessors and they are bad, they are evil. But again, remember that first picture, right? If I am above, there is no way to enemy who is below me cause obsession, because they cannot do it. They cannot even perceive us. But it's possible to have that situation because we are in the same level. We have same problems. And through the problems, they connect and they can start having influence in our thoughts. But then we know also that happen between incarnate people, and we connect with people every day, like in many situations in our life, through the way we think, through the way we act. Being that our problems can also put us together with incarnate and make that relationship happen. And not only moral, but also material vices can connect us and build all these possibilities of influence. Meaning, which part I need to change here to start this transformation? We know that it's myself, because every other connection comes after. If I want to do a real change, if I want to stop my enemies of acting, I need to work through myself first. Then I can stop the influence, because I'm not that person anymore. And I have a question number 456, when Kardec asked the spirits, do spirits see everything that we do? And then they answered saying they can, if they so choose, since they are always with you. It means that they can see as long they want to see that. Practically, spirits only see what they direct their attention to and ignore that what does not interest them. They will see what they want, and they will be connected what they have internal wishes. Again, our vices, our problems, if they have the same interests, if they have the same vices, they will see that on us. They will look to us and have the possibility of connection and influence. This is why, again, if I want something to be changed, I need to change myself first. There is no way to do differently, because otherwise, even if that particular spirit change, other one will come because we will still connecting to our difficulties and problems. There is no human upon whom the good and evil influence of spirits does not act. We live in the midst of an invisible crowd which attentively watches our existence. The French philosopher Leon Denis saying here, there is no way to not suffer the influence of spirits. Why is that? Because we are immersed on that spiritual influence. They are among us. They are here around us. And we are spirits as well, right? This relationship is natural. There is nothing about fantastic on this. Again, we cannot choose not suffer influence, but we can for sure define the nature of the influence. Can be good or bad, depends on what? On us. Because we are that power who will be attracting those influence. If you are good, if you're thinking good, if you're acting on good all the time, we will always have the influence of the good, because we are making those connections. If there were no evil people on earth, there would be no evil spirits around it. Again, why you can think like with ourselves, why there is evil spirits around me? Well, think about your attitude. If you have some who is evil close to you, it's probably because you are sharing the same thoughts. And here there is a reflection about saying that there is evil people on earth. This is why we have evil spirits around it. Every day we know the earth is changing. We are in the transition, planetary transition right now. And to follow that evolution, we need to work to change ourselves. Otherwise, we will lose the path of evolution, right? We will stay behind in this transformation. If you want to be included on that transformation, we need to work. And then Kardec explained that we need to work in our moral improvement. And he said that physical causes pit themselves against physical forces. Obviously, a moral cause must be opposed to a moral force in order to prevent infirmities. We fortify our bodies. To exempt ourselves from obsession is necessary to fortify the soul. Which means that obsessed person must work for their own betterment. Again, it's maybe it's not the easiest way to do it, but we need to do it. We need to do our work in this transformation. And Kardec saying here clearly, we must work in our own betterment. There is a educator from Brazil. She's also a poet, abolitionist, And her name is Analia Franco. She's also a Spiritist. Is a great model. And she wrote 12 in our day for us to work in our thoughts and in our transformation. She worked 12 things that we can do by hour that I will share with you. And she said that on the first hour of the day, we should put our thoughts in love and gratitude to God. And she's saying that without inactivity. It means we don't, doesn't matter if what we are doing, we can doing be doing something like the day just start, I'm working, or I'm going to to work, or it could not prevent us to doing all these steps. Like she asked us to start our day thinking about love and gratitude to God. Then she say for us to thinking about loving our neighbor and wishing all the good for them. How can we, what we can do to do a good thing for them? Maybe it's simple thing, like just wishing a good morning, for example. Maybe can be something material, doesn't matter. What we can do for them today. Then she said us to put focus on ourselves, on everything that we need to fix in ourselves, like what we can do, what are my problems, how can I improve those problems to something good. Maybe I am impatient, maybe I need to be more humble. Everyone should, like we need to see ourselves and see how can we work through our problems. Then she asked us to remember all those who suffer prison, hospitals, without food, all those who live their lives with vices and despair. We should think about it and pray for them. Then she said, pray for all who are living their last moment on earth and ask God to alleviate their difficulties. Again, all charity, all actions, what we can do without money, without any material things, just having good thoughts with discipline. And then she said, pray for all who are suffering on earth and in the spiritual world, asking for their peace. There are so many people who are suffering on both worlds, the spiritual one, the material one, knowing that those who are thinking they are our enemies, they are suffering, because all those who are seeking do something evil, they are in suffering. Let's pray for them. Let's try and change their thinking, because then we can alleviate them. Then she said, thinking about all those who have hardened from the heart. Well, we don't know their path of life. We don't know everything that they face, all the difficulties they have, who ended at this point of their lives being hardened of heart. But for sure we can think about it and we can vibrate for them. And on the 8th hour, she said, thinking about the idea of doing continuous good. Think about doing good every day. What we can do now, what we can do tomorrow. Let's try another approach if it's necessary. And then seek ways to put into practice a positive attitude and self-enlightenment process in our life. Well, she said to think about doing good, but now she's saying put in practice. Because just thinking about good is not enough. You need to put in practice. Maybe and we probably will not be possible to do all good that we thought, but every small things that we can do will be a changing. And remember, the enemies that we want to change will see that. And they will be part of this transformation, as Analia Franco is saying. Then focus on finding a better path to help family and friends to develop virtues. We know that we have a specific relationship with those people who are close to us. How can we help them? Focus on the moment when, after this life, we will be seen with all our actions in this life, the good and the bad. Well, just a reminder from Analia Franco. At the end of our life, when we go through the spiritual life, we will be seen through our true self. What we did good, what we did bad will be clear. Well, maybe it's time to change. If I'm doing bad and I don't want to be seen by that only, at least it's time to do something good, right? And then she said, use the last hour to review the day and see what opportunities we lost and how can we do better tomorrow. It's a cycle of changing and transformation. And she said, doing this every day will change our thoughts for something better. Well, we know the concept of evil is changing, and even the idea about demons are just the concept of bad spirits who are perseverant in doing bad. And here it's the spirits are saying the way to change it is through charity. And again, I'm not saying they are not saying charity through giving material things. Is the charity of acting with love and fraternity. That charity not only has the effect of stopping them from practicing evil, but also can lead them to the path of good. It is thus that the maxim love your enemies is not limited to the narrow circle of earth and the present life, but is part of the great love of universal solidarity and fraternity. Again, the acting we do now, this transformation of charity, is like some drops in a big waterfall. We don't know all the transformation that will occur with a small good attitude. We don't know the change of that person's life that is receiving directly, but we also cannot see all the transformation with the spiritual world on that life and for others. This is why this changing of charity, it's an important concept. And here Kardec saying charity is the eternal anchor of salvation, the purest emanation which comes directly from the Creator, part of his own virtue which he gives to all creatures. The real charity that can be done without expecting any return, it's a nature of divinity. And they are saying, when people are overwhelmed by feelings of charity and kindness, for all they do good for the sake of doing good without looking for a reward, and they sacrifice their interests for justice. When we do this, it means we are accomplish a progress, raising in the spiritual hierarchy. We are remember that image of the hill, of the mountain going up? This is the way to go up, doing charity without looking for reward. And then, to finalize my talking, I have a story from Gandhi. When Mahatma Gandhi was asked about forgiveness, he said that he never forgive. And people get surprised saying, well, how that can be possible? How can a guy who always talking about peace, a guy who Albert Einstein say it'll be hard. Like through the history, people believe that singular person even exists, said he never forgave anyone. And then he explained that I never forgave anyone because I didn't feel offended to the point of needing to forgive. And this is so important because if we are in the level of not forgiving, it means something that we need to reflect and think about it. Because high level spirits like Gandhi is saying that he never forgave because he never have that offended feeling, right? He never take that on his heart. If you are, we are taking that and we are not able even to forgive, then we can also reflect on his sentence, because he say the weak can never forgive. Forgiveness is the attribute of the strong. Let's be stronger and stronger, knowing that we need to change. Not only because we have enemies and know it, we are our first, we need to change because we have a fantastic path in our life as a spiritual beings who will always evolve, but we need to change ourselves today. And following Analia Franco's path of idea to not only thinking good but also practicing it. And that's it. I want to thank you all for this moment, and I'm happy to answer any questions you may have.
Hi, Rodrigo. Thank you so much for your presentation and reflections on this lesson. Oh my gosh, this is so hard. But
Yeah,
yeah, it is
this is why
important.
we are here for.
True, true. It is really
Right?
important for all of us, right, to learn about this, right?
That's absolutely, yeah. It's a
Mm-hmm.
transformation that we cannot avoid. We need to.
Yeah, true. We have some questions, but I would like to I did not put any questions in the chat, but I
Okay,
would like to ask you something
sure.
um, about you said about the transformation, right? So do you think uh, only with our transformation we can let me see, inspire the transformation of our enemies that they are not here anymore?
Well, according to spirits, uh, our obsessors, right, our enemies in the spiritual world, they they keep an eye on us all the time. They are seeing our acting, our thoughts, and the way we can change them is changing ourselves. Is the only way they see we are really, truly trying to do something different.
Mm-hmm.
And this transformation, because they are always with us, they will see that happening and they will receive the good influence as well.
Mm-hmm.
All the readings, all the acting, they will receive those positive influence, and that can
Mm-hmm.
also change them.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. So yeah, and we need to remember that um, our enemies, if we don't fix the situation before they die, they will become the same. Actually, they will be the same, right, after that death, because our feelings, everything we take with us when we passed away, when we just discarnated, right? So
Exactly.
that's why we need to do this job when we have people around us, and we have some situations that is bothering us, and try to fix and transform enemies in friends, right?
Yeah, and that reminds me a quote from Chico Xavier
Mm-hmm.
when asked he was asked about what's the main feeling of the spirits after passing, right? When someone died, what's the feeling of that spirit? And he said that the main feeling is the feeling of lost in time, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because we have so many opportunities to do good here, to change our path, to improve our relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, for all of us, for many of us, we are not doing what we should do, right?
Yeah.
This is why this sentence from Chico always strikes me, because I am afraid of having the same feeling that I lose time here, right?
Yeah.
My
True.
opportunities to change, to be a better person. And but as you say, is the only path that is showing to not only change ourselves but change our enemies in a better
Mm-hmm.
direction as a friends.
Yeah. So incarnated enemies is discarnated enemies. So that's why we need to act as soon as we can, right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So we have now some questions in the chat. Let me see. Yeah, we have it. Publio. It's asking, Jesus' advice, we should reconcile with our adversaries quickly. Is this direct connected with the discarnated enemies, since the death doesn't exist and the hatred continue after this life?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a great question, Publio. Yes, Jesus anticipate all this knowledge, right? He absolutely he knew everything about it, and through his teachings, now with all this information from the spirits, we learn, we understand that much better. And absolutely, Jesus always say that before do anything, right? Come back to your enemies and try to reconcile with them, because it's so important for our life that we build relationships, and he always showed that, right, with love, with fraternity. um, he 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 synthesized 10 commandments in just two, and both of them is
Mhm.
connected to love.
Yeah. We have two more questions. Definitely, we cannot deny the spiritual influence in our lives, good or bad. What can we do to attract to good and avoid the bad ones?
Yeah, that's also a perfect
Great
question.
questions.
Yeah, great question. And Google is very inspired this night, right?
Yeah.
Perfect question. Yeah, well, we are attracting, right? The spirits say we are like a radio, who is we can change our connection, depends on the way we are internally. If you have a good attitude, good thinking, good talking, we will attract spirits in the same level of connection.
Yes, yeah.
If you are doing wrong, there'll be the same problem, right? If you want to change who is around us, we need to change ourselves first.
Yeah, thank you. And the last one is charity the way, since it incorporates most of the 12 items mentioned in your speech.
Absolutely. And again, we learn from Jesus when he explained the salvation is really connected the way we act. There's nothing specific about one or another religion. It's all about charity. What we do good for others. When he said, "When you do for the little of my brothers, you are doing to myself," showing that when we do good, we follow same thing that Analia Franco was saying, right? When we trying to help others, family, friends, enemies, ourselves, doing good, this is the real charity, and this is the way we can transform ourselves and improve ourselves in the spiritual hierarchy.
Yeah. And just one thing to keep in mind that charity is not only the physical one, right? But the moral one too, right?
Yes, that's great point, Marceli. Sometimes we think charity like giving money, right?
Material,
Or
yeah.
material things like clothing. All those attitudes are important. There's no doubt about it. But there is something more important. And also Jesus mentioned that when we give ourselves, our time, dedicating something to someone or a cause, right, that can help people, this
Mm-hmm.
is much more important. And again, a simple and powerful process of charity is the pray. When we
Mm-hmm.
pray to someone in prison and hospitals,
Yeah,
for sure we are doing a great acting of charity.
yeah. Okay, thank you so much, Rod. It was awesome have you here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
And we thank you everyone for your participation in the chat, especially our friend Publio. We will now move to the preparation for the tonight's spiritual treatment. Pass is the transfusion of spiritual energy with the goal of assisting with our physical, emotional, and mental balance. Passes help us to restore a state of harmony and peace by replacing negative energy with healthy, positive energy. In order to receive the best benefits from passes, please follow the audio instructions or remain in prayer. You may close your eyes to help with mentalization. During the pass, the water you set aside will also absorb the spiritual energy that your family and you can benefit from. So we will now make a prayer in preparation for the pass, which will be our closing prayer as well. So once again, I ask you everyone to join me and close our eyes, thanking God, dear Lord, we thank you for this blessed night and for everything we learned during the tonight's talk. May we can practice your example of love every day of our lives in order to love our neighbors and forgive our enemies. We ask you and the good spirits to help us during this treatment and that we can finish it better than when we started. Please bless our week and our nights and help us to have a blessed sleep. May your love spread over all the world. And once again, thank you for everything you have done for us. Please be with us today and always. So be it.
Let us now prepare ourselves for the moment of the passes and the magnetization of water. Let's now calm our hearts, breathing in and out. Pay attention to your body. Focus on your breath and let yourself be carried by this energy. Let your thoughts pass by without judging them. Let them flow. Allow this light to be the beacon that guides you, and allow these words to penetrate your energy. Make each word an anchor of gratitude, faith, and trust. With the purpose of healing, which takes away my faith, healing every feeling of separation, of pain. Let it all dissolve in this moment, leaving only love, gratitude, and trust. We ask God for the presence of our guardian angel and the friendly spirits who welcome us into this enlightened environment of our Spiritist Center. We open our plexus of love and forgiveness by mentalizing a light surrounding our hearts. Find a quiet and comfortable place to begin the mentalization process. Remove all worries from your thoughts. We ask that during the pass you breathe slowly and deeply. Let your body relax and surrender yourself to a deep meditation. Calmly imagine divine energies in soft and colorful light surrounding you in an environment of peace and spiritual warmth. Entrusting God with your most intimate desires, raise your thoughts to Jesus and the emissaries of the spiritual environment. The path begins with the cleansing of your soul. Imagine a waterfall of crystal clear water pouring over us, removing all the feelings that keep you away from faith and trust. Feel the energy of this water bathing you and deeply breathe in, feeling peace and harmony. Allow this water to wash away all the impurities and spiritual larvae, washing away all the sorrows and resentments, any feelings of hatred and revenge that hold us back and cause us harm, not only from this life, but past ones as well. Now visualize spiritual doctors around you, applying magnetic cleansing passes, sanitizing your spiritual body of all sadness and negative energy. Mentalize these negative thoughts and feelings being washed away, evaporating from your soul, like water evaporating into thin air, and being carried far away from your mind. Surround yourself with the faith that bathes your being, bringing clarity and lucidity, rebalancing every cell in your body. May the water envelop all pain and bring the clarity of opportunity that chooses peace. The answer arises in our hearts, freeing us from all evil and freeing all whom we have caused evil into and who have caused us evil. Washing away all the connections that bind us. Even though we may not understand, we are freeing ourselves from all that causes us harm. Feel this cleansing penetrate your soul and release. Now that we are spiritually cleansed, imagine yourself surrounded by the light of love from the hands of Jesus. At this moment, sing words of faith and gratitude, being faithful to the light that exists in me, planted by the zealous Father. Imagine the sunlight that surrounds and enraptures, freeing us from the chains of everything that holds us down, strengthening your faith. Allow yourself to trust in this light, surrender to it, involved in pleasant feelings and feeling relieved to receive the strengthening lights. Mentalize your spiritual mentors now applying divine light for the strengthening of your mind and your emotions, leaving you feeling emotionally revitalized. Let us now mentalize the magnetization of this water. May we mentalize all the friendly spirits, magnetizing this water and filling it with everything that our bodies, minds, and soul need, so that it may be of help to us when we drink it after the Pass. Thank you, God.
Thank you for joining us tonight. We will be back next Tuesday here on Spiritism Canada and Continental Conference Americas at 8:30 p.m. East, and next Wednesday on Kardec Radio at 8 p.m. East. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube from the Spiritism Canada and the Spiritist Group Path of the Light. Have a good night.
Come on, my friend, come to the light. Here with all our heart and soul, let's follow Jesus Christ. Let us preach the peace, let us preach the love. And this world already wonderful will be much more. Get up, look at the sky, in the earth where the flowers bloom with sunshine. Let's hold our hands and be together on this road. Then we take peace and love and spread it to the world.